Man has been fascinated since very, very early times with portraiture, going back to cave paintings, petroglyphs, hieroglyphs, and then later on mainly to try to create memory. And when you go through most of the major museums in the world, you always find portrait galleries. There have been incredible portraitists, and somehow we never get bored of looking at portraits. Whether I look at Velázquez or Goya, Caravaggio, Da Vinci, very recent Freud, or a very abstract portrait of Francis Bacon. In photography, we go to Paul Strand, Stieglitz, in a radical way, to the faces Luigi captured, then the iconic portraits of Herman Penn and Richard Avedon most recently. And so, portrait history is really, really long, and I just mentioned Michel Freud. Francis Bacon did an amazing series of portraits of Michel Freud. Then you have David Hockney, and many, many self-portraits as well. In my own way, I have become a portraitist. We had the opportunity really to create portraits without almost any restrictions, you know. My approach is very, maybe I can say intimate, but on the other hand, very, very quick. I think about my subjects before I start working with them. Whether it's children or very old people, young people, fashion people, business people, there is always this incredible fascination coming between our eyes, you know, and I don't look very much through the camera. I set my camera, or I used to have a shoot me so rolling or hustle once so I can look. But in my portraits, I look quick down, and I don't use long lenses really for my portraits. So I go from the principle that I can crop. So my first generation, the quality is very high, so I have enough pixelation that I can crop into the image and really work freely with my subjects. And that is also very interesting, because the person is actually looking in my eyes, and the camera is between us. It's not this barrier that many people are creating. They look at the camera, okay, but I like the communication between the person and me directly on the side. Sometimes I reach out my hand, I touch their hand or their shoulder. So it's a very, in a way, intimate process, and I really like that. Some people are very passive in front of the camera. You feel the chemistry between the person, and I worked with some politicians that were maybe more camera aware because they do so many interviews. Maybe one example is Hillary Clinton in the White House. She was used to being interviewed on a certain spot at a certain place, and I said, no, I cannot do that. You need to move that couch up to the third floor. about the day I come in and they said, well, this couch has not moved in the last 35 years. And I said, well, he's going to move for the first time today. So we moved the couch. So I did not take the person fully out of their context. They still have the couch to hang on, but the couch was not in the same spot. It was in a very daylight field, and she sat down and said, you know, you can stand or you can sit on her. This was very different. I never saw the color of the couch that way. And right away, this is great, maybe we should keep the couch here, and so automatically by moving the couch, which is really nothing to do with anything personal, you create a dialogue. I think if you can break that in the beginning, then you end up with a amazing picture. In the end, we use the picture on top of the White House outside with a huge smile looking at the White House lawn. It's really feeling the people and trying to find, because often there is not that much time. You know, I worked with Michael Jordan in Mexico City at the airport, and I knew he had very little time, which meant 40 minutes. So he arrived and he said, you know, I have very little time. I have things to do and places to go. At that time I worked with 8 by 10 cameras, like one shot. So I lined up 3 8 by 10 cameras, and I gave him his ball, and I said, okay, done. I had 2 frames, and I saw the frame, I saw him in the air, and I thought I had the picture. I said, okay, one more time, back, and I saw, when I looked at it, I felt this clock, and I looked at the silhouette in the air, went in with my eyes, and it was almost like a paper cut, and I said, I got the picture. This took maybe 10 minutes. I said, we're done. And he said, but if you don't have it, I'm gone. I said, I know, I have it. Comte also said, and this is really an important sense. Photography, you need to find the defining moment. And the defining moment is really knowing when you have the picture. Like one of my favorite lines is my assistant, I got the picture, it's a wrap. And I think that is the key in a lot of success in portrait photography. So you really need to be sure that you create this magic, and in this short window of time you can create these amazing images. Well, this is actually really interesting. In my career, in the years that I've been taking pictures, people always come back. When I started working with people, it was really became a relationship, and it's not myself. They're actually friends. Often they came to dinner and they came on the weekend to the house, and people like Jeremy Irons over many years, or Louis Bourgeois, or Tom King, people that you revisit, that you see them again, and Quincy Jones, enjoying what David Blaine over years. I never interested really in photographing weddings, but if there are subjects that are really good friends, and then it becomes, you capture a very important moment in their life as their friends. family dinners, you know, in restaurants. I have found amazing pictures in the Kolonhalle in Zurich. The revisiting process is something really, really fascinating. When I photographed Jeremy Ireland, he just did Kafka, and then he did the movie Universal of Fortune, the whole Riddle story, and I photographed him again for the New York Times when he plays Council Riddle, and his transformation at the time in between is really fascinating. Also, then we photographed him years later in the countryside in his house. It's revisiting each other, and that is a really wonderful thing. And like on the portraits again, I'm looking at the book of Michel Freud, who has been painting the same people over generations, and Francis Bacon revisiting the same subjects. And I really like this relationship. It tells our history, and I feel photography is history. It's capturing a moment in time. We should never fall in this kind of overkill that a picture is magic and the picture is precious, and the picture tells story, and the good picture doesn't need any words. Look at the picture and it tells 1,000 stories. I was always known to work quite fast, and this new part in my career now that I took a sabbatical for actually quite a few years. I took mainly personal pictures. I feel this is maybe or really the most important time for my portraits, because I really now look at it as a form of art that is really the art of portraiture. How far can I go? What can I show, and how can I show people, and what subjects do I approach? It's more an approach that people come and see me in my studio, or I have more the choice, who do I really would like to photograph, if these people know me or want to get to know me. I think this is a very important time for my portraiture, you know. I really would have loved to take a picture of the Queen Elizabeth. I missed that one, but we have this amazing small portrait of Michel Freud to look at, which is really extraordinary. He did not make a big painting of the Queen like many artists. They did a huge painting, and also Michel Freud, most of his paintings are like this. They are the monumental. But the portrait of the Queen is like this. There is so much depth in that portrait. So I feel it's not about the size, it's really what is coming out. It's really capturing the depth of the person that I don't have the luxury or the possibility of being able to photograph. Again, it's really reading about Michel Freud and Francis Bacon and the tormented times of Tracy Emin, and going back the difference between Goya and Velázquez. They painted exactly at the same time. And I mentioned Goya and Velázquez and Bacon and Michel Freud. Goya was not the court painter of the Spanish crown. He was a man of the street. He did the disastrous Telegraph, he did the world flags, and he did portraits for the royal family. Velázquez, on the other hand, was the Spanish court painter. There was much more pain. The strokes were much heavier on Goya's paintings than Velázquez. So the same girl, even at 12 years of age, and Velázquez maybe 30 of age, the paintings look totally different. And if he fallen back at Queen of Spain or Beethoven or anybody from the noble families, Velázquez portraits were immaculate. Michel Freud's early years was a portraitist before he sort of got older and became more free, and maybe before his friendship with Francis Bacon, that he did many portraits of him. And I think the two artists, Bacon and Freud, and Velázquez and Goya, there is a great synchronicity somehow in these four artists. I don't know if anybody actually thought about this before or made this kind of comparison. But the more I read about it, the more incredible similarities I see between Velázquez and Goya and Freud and Bacon. This is really fascinating. So I feel that these years of experience give us incredible freedom. And both of these artists, at the advanced career, you really felt how free they were, and also how free their subjects were, whether they were dressed or nude, it really didn't matter. So all the barriers were down, and it was just also their own mortality became very visible. And I think that's really beautiful, and not being afraid of letting these arts down. When I had a ball in 1981 in New York, I was in the studio, and I saw his 8x10s on the wall, and I saw a lot of red circles on these compactors. Then these images were sent to Italy to a retoucher called Tonino Favali, which later on became a retoucher. But what I was really surprised was how raw the images of Richard Avedon are. The first generation of his pictures were raw. He saw suddenly that people look different. I would see Kilayasis, I would see John Severance, I would see Callie Edward on the wall, and then I would see the American roll cover on the stands. And this was really the beginning of something that became a very, very major point of discussion also today with the kind of filters we're using on our iPhones, on the way people present themselves. And that is again, it's a question that we could talk forever about. In my work, I always tried my images to be as raw as possible. Yes, I did work with Aragon's retoucher, but I always looked at there were some wrinkles here that if the girl had hair on her arms and not weight, I tried as much as I could get by that the magazine would actually publish the picture. I tried as little manipulation as possible. Louis Bourgeois, for example, said, make sure you see all my wrinkles. She put a dark powder on herself because she wanted a platinum print and said, Michel, make sure you can count every one of my wrinkles. I had to work 90 years to get these wrinkles. They are so beautiful. So, where are we going to draw the line? I did a story for Italian Vogue in the 80s of really overweight girls, and I had 20 of them. They were all totally naked, nothing. And I can tell you, I rarely had so much fun because they were so proud of being voluptuous. So I think this is something that will keep going. How much can we show what is good? How body conscious do we need to be? And as I'm concerned, less is more. The less retouching we do, the more authentic we are, and the more it's believable, you know? And I feel we need to become believable again. And look at the magazine, I don't believe anything anymore. We need to get credibility again. That's really, I think, what it's all about.